Whoa! Welcome to the What's Up Everybody podcast. We fashion ourselves cinematic judge and jury. My name is JJ Crowder. I'm here with my co-hosts Mattson
Better read than dead.
and Alec Burgess.
Let's get it.
We appreciate you tuning in. Go ahead and hit that follow, subscribe, like, bell notification buttons. Tell a friend about us. Tell a family member about us. Help us grow the podcast by telling some really inappropriate white actors about us, though they're very funny. Yeah, so we're continuing on with Practically Perfect. I'm still kind of flabbergasted how this one ended up on the list, but I mean, it fits the bill, I guess. There's no CGI in it, so it makes sense. But before we get too far into that, do need to talk about our sponsor, Manscaped. And ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to announce the smooth sack summer is officially upon us. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed from pubes to bum. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, you can make this season your smoothest yet. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate bundle to keep your boys downstairs cool while you're looking hot. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use code THEVERDICT. Summertime and the trimming is easy. I didn't think they could outdo, what was it, Holiday last year?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was this
when you
good.
started with Sun and Bum,
Yeah,
I thought we were heading straight into Mattson poem. I was like, holy shit. Mattson's been published by Manscaped. I was waiting for Red Hair Fire and something else to come up with.
Yeah. If you like to check out some of Mattson's past poems and greatness, songs even, you can go check out our shorts on YouTube and or listen to episodes the last little while. They're there. They're great, wildly entertaining. But yeah, go check out Manscaped, man. It's a good time to do it. It is hot. You don't want to be too furry down there or anywhere for that matter. Trust me, I know. It gets a little warm. So remember, you can go get 20% off plus free shipping with the code THEVERDICT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code THEVERDICT at manscaped.com. It's smooth sack summer, boys. Get on board or get left behind. Thanks, Manscaped.
No more Zaddy?
No, thank God. I mean, it was fun to say, but I'm glad we've moved on to the smooth sack summer.
That's wonderful, beautiful. I love
trimmed
it.
From pubes to bum. Get it done.
Ugh.
Go check them out. All right, so let's dive into our movie. Third week of Practically Perfect. We're talking about The Three Amigos. It was released, way out of place here, December 12th, 1986. It was written by Steve Martin, Lorne Michaels, and Randy Newman. It was directed by John Landis. It stars Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, Martin Short, Alfonso Arau, Tony Plana, Patrice Martinez, and Jorge Cervera. Jorge Cervera Jr. I wanted to say
Cervezas.
Fucked me
I was
up.
gonna say, let's ask.
I saw beer and went, yes. And, Joe Montana and John Lovitz were in there somewhere too. So it's about three actors who accept an invitation to a Mexican village to perform their on-screen bandit fighter roles, unaware that it is the real thing. Master, this was a you pick, right?
It was a me pick.
Snuck this one in on me.
Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Is this a great... not great movie. Is this a good movie? No, not a good movie at all. Is this a movie that fits into JJ's... Should have fit into JJ's slapstick dumb humor? Should, but it doesn't, apparently, because JJ's humor is unexplainable at times from what I'm finding out. This movie is a nostalgia factor for me. I can't tell you when I first saw this movie. I just know I was young and I watched it with my brothers and we all liked this movie. And that's why I like this movie, because it made me laugh when I was little, because I was doing something that was cool with my older brothers. That's what it is. So having watched this movie later on, like when I watched this the other day, this movie has parts that make me like slightly chuckle. And I'm like, wow, this movie is so dumb and stupid and kind of funny. it doesn't have the same feel that it once did, but like my son Banks, who grows up when he's old enough, I'm sure I'll love watching this movie with him and we'll have a dang good laugh. Um, I love the names of these actors. Or the characters. I always remember Ned and Dusty Bottoms and Lucky Day, like just some stupid adult people and some funny actors. I mean, I love a good Steve Martin film and the over the top and all that. So I think for me, it was something that was just a nostalgia factor. And I think I always remember the costumes of what they're dressed like like very iconic to me. So it's a movie that doesn't have any need for CGI, and it does it really well.
What about you, Alec? I'm curious as to your thoughts on the Three Amigos.
Low key, I hated it.
Okay.
Like there was, I don't know what it is because I like Martin Short.
Yeah.
I like Chevy Chase. I like Steve Martin. Martin Short and Steve Martin, great. Martin Short, Chevy Chase, great. Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, fantastic. All three of them together, fucking terrible. The math doesn't math.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite person in this entire thing was Tony Plana, who plays El Guapo Psychic.
El Guapo, yeah.
That guy's funny.
It was so fucking hilarious. I was like, how does Tony Plana, who's been in like 2 things in his entire film career, outshine 3 of like the Mount Rushmore of comedic geniuses? And Tony Plana's my favorite part. I was like, this shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the math. I mean, if I'm gonna watch this kind of story, I'd much rather like watch Galaxy Quest, to be honest. Or Tropic Thunder, which they have kind of a similar thing where it's like, you know, the not heroes turn out to be real heroes type of a spiel to it. And it's like, because I love everybody in this movie, just not when they're in this movie.
I think it's because they do try too hard to give each one of these iconic comedic actors their own type of comedy that fits in this movie, and it becomes like too much of fan service or a service to them, and it detracts because it pulls you in all those different directions. They try and mold it into one, and I mean, I can fully admit it doesn't always work, and you kind of have to pick which one you like more than the others, and maybe it's just too much in one movie. I don't know.
That might be it, because my favorite of the 3 is Martin Short, but in this one, I didn't like it as much.
Yeah. I call this the Saturday Night Live effect, because this movie is a Saturday Night Live. Lorne Michaels, it was one of the early Saturday Night Live take from a skit, make it into a movie. And I know, look, there's going to be a lot of people that watch this and probably don't agree, but I don't feel like I love Saturday Night Live, especially old 80s, late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, even into the early 90s Saturday Night Live. Like some of the funniest sketch comedy ever created. Not a huge fan of the newer version because it's not my kind of comedy. It's a little too much for me. But like
JJ doesn't know what type of comedy he likes. But
I do, but that's okay. But I have never. So there's 2 things that I have a problem with. One, the Saturday, it's guapo, but the Saturday Night Live, I don't like. There's not one that I can think of that I'm like, that's a great movie. And I know a lot of people like Night at the Roxbury. People think it's great. I don't love it. There's so many that they've made that I'm like, these were great sketches for 2 to 5 minutes on a Saturday night. This is not great in a 1 hour and 40-minute format, like, because it's just not meant to maintain or sustain that level of comedy for that long, because it starts to feel ridiculous. It starts to feel like we're seeing the same jokes over and over and over, because that's all Lorne Michaels knows how to write is 5-10 minutes at a time. So it's like, to me, that's why I call it the Saturday Night Live effect. The other piece is, which is much more about me and less about the content, and that is, I'm a little contrary. Like there's certain films that like are so revered, and this is one of them. Like Three Amigos, love it. It's great. It's one of the funniest movies ever. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's really not. And I can't so I get a little more grumpy and outspoken about movies like this, but it's the same with like why I never watched. What was that? Damn it! What's the movie that we did that I'd never seen? You guys like, what the hell?
Nacho Libre.
Yeah, Nacho Libre, or like any of those like films where I'm just like, this is not gonna be funny to me, so I just don't watch it. And part of it is because people are like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen, and I'm like, is it though? Is it really?
JJ, do we really want to go down this road? Do we really want to walk this talk that we've had through the years?
Look, I've said that this is a me problem, and it's partially me being contrary.
I'm just gonna say to our listeners, I'm not gonna do it to you. We're not gonna go there, but
go there. Let's go there. This is my favorite part of the podcast.
Remember, I will come to Seattle with a flamethrower.
I'm having a hard time sitting here. Like, I'm not gonna defend. It's not about this movie. I will fully admit, if I had not seen this movie when I was younger and didn't have the nostalgia factor and just watched this, like JJ had like never seen this, I can guarantee you I would have not liked this movie. I'm confident of that. I'm willing to admit that, because I'm sure if this was like a movie JJ liked and thought was real, this is the type of, I know this is the type of movie I would have expected Jay to be like, this is a funny movie. And then I want to watch it, like, this movie sucks. It's not funny at all. But I knew JJ didn't like this movie, and I liked this movie enough, so I wanted to screw him and make him watch this. And I'm glad that our Patreons picked this to torture his ass, because he's done it to me so many times. But then he's going to sit here and say that Bill and Ted is a funny movie.
It is!
And it's just not. And then he doubled down on the sequels, and they are just garbage. And because of that, JJ's opinion on humor, when he doubled down so hard, is irrelevant to our listeners, because he is skewed and biased in a way that does not make sense to the normal human beings. I'm here for the listeners. I'm here for the common folk. And JJ is a pompous ass individual when it comes to humor. He makes no sense.
This is my new favorite episode.
Man. First of all, you need to get a new argument. Like the fucking.
There's no need to have a new argument when you keep bringing up the point that you're the godfather of comedy, and you sit here spewing up things that don't make no sense.
Said I was the godfather. I have never said that I'm the godfather of comedy, and I have always said that I have a very eclectic taste in comedy, but it has to be very specific and very, to me, it's funny. I've never said that everybody follows my line of comedy. However, I do watch a lot of fucking movies throughout my 43 years, and this one is not a good one. I give it more credit than it deserves because of who stars in this fucking movie. This movie should have been as hilarious as it gets with the 3 stars that are in it, but it's poorly written, and it's repetitive, and it's just not fucking fun. And really, you couldn't make this movie today. Like, this is one of those movies that, like, if you made a version, a remake of Three Amigos, you'd get fucking canceled because of how absolutely racist this movie is. Let's just get this shit out there. It is terrible. However, it should have been funny. And there's very little that I laugh about in this movie at all. Besides, to your point, Alec, the bit characters. Hefe's hilarious. Even
I got you a bunch of pinatas.
Yeah.
In the storehouse. Did you say I have a plethora?
Bad.
Yeah, you have a plethora. What's a plethora, Hefe? Why, El Guapo?
Yeah. Or like when Guapo first said, I like these guys. Like, that shit's funny. Like, that was the only, but those are like, but I still don't laugh. Like, I smile and go, okay, that's good.
Don't let him get away with this, Mattson. Hit it back.
Yeah,
but we need it. It'd be better if we had a movie that I thought was, because even watching this down, I'm all this is the problem, is I'm standing on like a wooden peg that I don't fully believe in for this particular movie. But we've heard this stuff before when it came to Bill and Ted, when JJ's talking about what are the funniest scenes, and it's just dry and dumb and stupid, and JJ's over here keeling over like a donkey, laughing for the rest of his life.
Hell yeah. Because the shit's intelligent. There's no intelligence in this movie whatsoever.
Intelligent?
None.
It's
None.
too. Oh my.
None. There is no intelligence in this movie. This movie is so stupid. And this is the problem, is people are like, this shit's funny. And then they make more of this shit. And it just fucking repeats itself. And I'm like, God damn it. But then you have, and if you're gonna fucking bring it up, I'll go there. You have a fucking robot that has a crisis of conscience, and we have movie after movie after movie that we go, fuck, AI and fucking robots are gonna take over the world. And he's like, I feel so fucking bad about it. That shit's hilarious because it's intelligent. It plays off of what we as stupid ass human beings find entertaining
that scene
again and
was
again.
so not. It meant and felt like nothing.
Only to you, my friend. Only to you. But
you can tell each one of those Star Wars figurines up there, the only friends you have in that room, that was funny. And you know what I'll do? I'm gonna walk out of this room happy.
I'll keep my R2. And I am with a very beautiful woman that finds the same things that I do very funny. So I'll keep my sense of comedy and laughter and be very proud of that shit. Because this movie sucks, dude. It's fucking terrible. And it shouldn't be. It was headlined
let me just. You might as well just bring all your dogs into that. We're gonna start flexing on who brings us happiness. Yeah, that was great stuff. That might have been one of the funnier moments I've had in this podcast.
Oh shit!
Oh gosh! The only thing that would have been funnier is if you said that she brings you happiness and makes you great pastries, because then I would have been jealous. Because she does.
She very much does. She's been really sick. She's had pneumonia. Like I've been cooking, and I'm like, fuck, I need some like pie, but because she hasn't been able to. Yeah,
I had a blueberry pastry today, and I turned over the taste. I was like, this is good, but I've had Casey's cherry one. It's better.
Yeah, she makes killer.
Anyways,
everything, but yeah.
JJ and I are friends. We'll always be friends, but this is something we could just never agree on. And it's the problem is, and why I'm probably feeling this abrasive is, if you all have been listening in the last few weeks, Alec and I have been too friendly lately. This is a problem. Yeah. We're too much in agreement.
It's true.
It's like I can't stop it from happening. I've tried and it hasn't worked.
It's been like multiple weeks, like at least like 4, and I don't know what to do with myself, so I'm trying to find something else. And it's clearly I'm right. Like I did win,
there you go.
And we can move on. But Alec, we'll be at each other's throats soon, I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure the next recording you will be.
Tune in next week because I'm sure I will be the only one not liking that movie.
Yeah, because then we're going to talk about comedy again, and and the difference between garbage like this, and this is like so indicative of our podcast. And this is how I know when a movie's really bad is when we're 20 minutes in and we've spent 5 minutes talking about the actual movie because it sucks. There's nothing good to talk about with this film. Like we've already talked about it.
And you think the next week when we talk about Beetlejuice that we have articulate points and things to bring up that are going to show the characteristics of a good movie? I'm sorry, JJ. I just don't. I'm excited. And they're all going to be wrong. The problem is this time Alec's going to gang up on me.
I was going to say, they're all going to be wrong to you. Though, ironically enough, this is one of those cases that Casey would actually probably agree with you. Like, I was like, I got to watch Beetlejuice. She's like, well, go have fun.
Yeah, you can bring her in when we record that one. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
She is not shy in her opinions.
No, not even a little bit. Look. Oh, Three Amigos, man. Here's what I'll give it. It makes me want to watch other things with these guys in it. Like I want to go watch Roxanne, and I want to go watch Fletch, and I want to go watch Caddyshack, and I want to get like there's all these movies that I want to go watch because Steve Martin and Chevy Chase and Martin Short are in it. But I don't want to watch I'm like, I turn it on. I'm like, there's like 6 movies I can go watch that are much better than this. But
you sons of a motherless goat.
So bad. Well, then he shoots him in the arm and he's like over it in 2 seconds. Like he's like, oh, that hurts. Fuck off. He was
real bullets.
Point blank range, shot him in the arm, and he's like kind of got a blood stain on his arm. Like, the fuck out of here.
This movie never claimed to be realistic. Martin Short, freaking Dusty. Sorry, Ned is hanging up on the pinata like party streamers for I don't know, like 30 minutes or 15 minutes. The dude had no biceps, triceps, deltoid. He would have fallen like a rock like 15 seconds into that journey.
Dude, that
Well,
pinata would have broken before
yeah,
she.
yeah.
I don't know. He looked like he weighed like all of 60 pounds though, so maybe.
Well, and how long did it take friggin' Guapo and Hefe to get there that they were able to sew an entire town's version of their clothes? Like, I realized we're good at sewing. What?
Hey, those machines are efficient, but that's
Yeah.
that's part of the comedy. It's big. Clearly, the movie was satirical from start to finish.
Well,
I
sure,
did
that's
laugh
good.
at
It's
that
just enough.
part though, because they have, it's the three of them going back and forth the whole time. And then
Yeah.
at the end, when the townspeople come out in the clothes, you're like, that doesn't look anything like
Yeah.
this. That was going.
Missing all the embellishments and shit.
It's like they had a black sheet that they threw over everybody. So
Jay,
that part
you
got
didn't
me.
find any of the bar scene funny at the beginning when they're all afraid of these what are supposed to be truly terrifying characters, and they're singing a song about buttercups, and they're having to repeat the words or they think they're going to get shot.
No, look like
Or even the bartender, he was funny.
kind of. I think I don't the My Little Buttercup, like that's like the most well-known scene of this whole movie, and I'm like, okay, it was funny the first time when I was 12, like, but now I'm like, and I think that's my problem again with all the Saturday Night Live comedy movies, is it's like it's funny once, and then it's not funny
But
anymore.
I agree with you on this point. That's what I'm saying now. Like, having seen something, like, it doesn't land the same way it did, but you can sit there and say that straight faced and not apply the same logic to a Bill and Ted. That movie is the exact same. You see it once, you've seen it forever.
I just don't agree with you. Like
You don't make any sense. You might as go walk out of this room and stuff your mouth with a bar of soap, because you're spewing just misinformation and opinions that don't need to be heard by our listening audience. It just doesn't compute.
Oh God. I'm sorry it doesn't compute with you, but like I find especially the original Bill and Ted to be absolutely hysterical from start to finish.
The
Every
first
time I
time to
watch
the
it.
30th time people. I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
JJ. You're broken in the brain.
I mean, I've never disputed this. Like I told you earlier in our last week's episode that I would roast the both of you with a flamethrower if we were stuck in Antarctica
This
together.
is true. That did hurt my feelings.
I have never said that I'm okay in the brain.
Alec should be roasted because he would probably gleefully be like, "This is my time to shine."
I wouldn't even wait for the thing to come. I would just roast you guys. Just in case.
I get it. What happens if you run out of food in Antarctica?
This is why Alec and I are friends.
Barbecue.
From many states away.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, this is, well, and here's the thing, like even as a kid, I didn't find this very funny. Like there were parts that I laughed because I was a kid and I didn't, like, it was like, it's ridiculous, right? There's ridiculous humor in it that I'm like, God, they can't be that stupid, right? Like you can't walk in and like do this skit once with three guys that are so shocked that they run away going, what the fuck do we do with this situation? And then they come back and they do the exact same skit. Like it's just it's not. And then it takes them getting shot to go, oh, this is fucking real. Come on now. Like it just doesn't, it's never been funny to me. And it's sad because like you said, you got quite the trio here. And your funniest guy is a fucking 2-bit player in the movie.
Let's just rate this thing. We haven't been making sense for 20 minutes. Ugh.
Well,
Bill and Ted find another way to make it on a bum ass podcast.
You brought it up.
Episode ever.
You brought up Bill and Ted. I did not.
We're probably about to continue this theme next week because we're about to rate a booty cheeks of a movie.
God.
Tune in next week, listeners.
Boy. All right, Mattson, this is your movie. You go first.
Yeah.
Give it a 7.
If it was my like young self when I'd seen this, I probably would have given this movie like a 4 or 4.5 in my childhood days. But now having seen this movie a couple times later in life, this movie's probably like a 2. It's a comedy. There's some great actors in it that are supposed to be really funny. They're funny in parts. This movie tries really hard, but I think the older I get, the less nostalgia it holds for me. But I'm hopeful when my son gets older and I can watch it with him again, we will enjoy it like it did back then, and it'll be like a long lost friend that's returned. But I enjoyed watching it because I knew JJ hated it.
Dude, please don't subject your son to this.
Long lost friend. Must be nice.
Banks is too cute to ruin his life by making him watch this hot garbage. I'm giving this movie a 1, and I'm only giving it that high for the sake of the fact that it's got 3 of the funniest dudes ever on the planet in it, and they try too hard. And it's a classic, I guess, movie that everybody knows about and most people have seen. Oh, if I can go my whole life without ever watching it again, I'll be very happy. I was not thrilled that we had to watch this. So well done, Mr. Ginger over there. You got me on this deal because I was not happy. I wasn't happy it made it on the list. I wasn't happy it got voted in. There's too many other good movies on our list of votes for this one.
Yeah, for how much you've tortured me through the years, well deserved, and we'll keep it coming.
There you go. I like I said, well played, sir. Yeah, I don't like this movie. I just think it's not funny. I don't enjoy
Charles,
it. Never
let's
have.
put Pineapple Express on one of these times. We'll get JJ with that too.
So terrible. That might be worse. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Giving it a 1. I will try my best to never watch this movie ever again. It's hard when it is what it is, but yeah, it sucks. Alec.
JJ, if I die before you, on my will and testaments, it will be requested you watch this.
You're dead. You're never gonna know.
I love you, dude, but we'll talk when we're both ghosts.
Hey, I'll find you. Let me tell you,
it can't be any worse than my current.
It's gonna be a long wait.
Besides, I'm probably gonna die before you anyway. That's just fucking logic, and
it's probably true.
Yeah. All right, Alec, bring us home with this hot garbage.
I'm gonna give it a 2 as well, and it is Tony Plana's 2 the entire way. I almost have to wonder, and I don't know if this is like said anywhere, if you had just turned Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Chevy Chase loose, no script, no real anything, just let them go, what would have happened? Because I have to almost wonder, like, they're all pretty close, right? Or they work together and they know each other pretty well. Like, I feel like they could have ad-libbed their way to greatness. So I almost have to wonder if, like, because Steve Martin kind of wrote it, if the other two let him take the lead, or there was kind of situations where he was like, no, we're doing this way, or anything along those lines where you put them almost in a box. Because there was moments where like it was funny, and there was moments where I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I don't want to watch this anymore. Make it stop. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. I mean, maybe given the right people, but it just, I mean, I would literally sit there and I would fast forward to anything that's got LF in it and watch that. Because that was what I found enjoyable. So much so that I was like researching Tony Plana. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Because I enjoyed his performance so much. So 2 for me.
When we do our first ever Let's Rate What We Rated Again month, throwing this one in there.
Oh, then we're never doing that.
Charles, here's your chance.
And that's great. If we ever do that, I'll make sure that Bill and Ted, all 3 of those fuckers, are on the goddamn list. Don't play with me, bitch. I'll fuck you up. I am much more dastardly and evil than you are, sir.
Oh, but I am much more competitive than you are, so those things come to a head.
That's very true. So this sums up like the tagline for this movie. So bad. They're down on their luck and up to their necks in senoritas, margaritas, banditos, and bullets. Jesus. How did this movie get made? Anyway, there it is. Alec, let's get the fuck out of this joint by you telling them where they can find us. I can't say more entertaining because this is probably pretty funny.
It was. I was laughing the entire time. So here we go. This is week three.
Yep.
Of Practically Perfect movies. Martin Short, Chevy Chase, and that other guy are usually a recipe for fun, and we are normally here for it. I don't know how this went, but how did our review of the Three Amigos sit with you guys in this Practically Perfect month? Did it hold up or not? Special thanks to our patrons, Rich, Male Nipple Appreciation Society, and Mel Brooks for picking this category and this movie. Patreon is where all the action is at, guys. Go save Mattson. He looks so sad every single week. It just gets more and more pathetic as he is hoping for someone to come save him. With that, I will kick it back to the Sultan of SWAT, the Titan of Terror, a JJ.
Yeah, thanks, Alec. It's been fun. This was funnier than the movie ever was. So appreciate it.
Shots fired.
That's right. As always, we appreciate tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Cinemagic out.
Whoa!